Hello, Endless Honeymoon Podcast listeners. We're glad you're listening. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. 5-star us, leave a review, and come see us live. We're actually going to be in Portland, Oregon.
December 19th, 20th, and 21st with a live podcast on December 22nd. We have guest Ian Carmel from Portland. And also, if you live in Portland and you have some relationship issues that you would like us to address, please let us know. Contact us through the podcast, and maybe you can come on our show.
Yep, it's endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com if you want to come be on the Endless Honeymoon Podcast taping live on the 22nd of December, or just come see us do stand-up that entire weekend. Go to portland.heliumcomedy.com. Also, Bay Area, the next month, January, we don't have the exact date, but we will be a part of the SF Sketchfest.
San Francisco Sketchfest. And also, if you live in San Francisco or the surrounding areas and you have some relationship issues, give us an email, give us a call, leave us a secret.
Yep.
Tell us why you want us to talk to you.
We will have you on the show there as well. sfsketchfest.com, portland.heliumcomedy.com. Let's start the show. Hey, welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. I'm Moshe Kasher.
And I'm Natasha Leggero.
You know us, and you probably know our guests.
Oh. We are here speaking with comedian, comic, Maria Bamford,
and her lovely husband,
Scott Cassidy.
Scott Marvel Cassidy.
Scott Marvel Cassidy.
Marvel? Is
Yes.
that really your middle name?
Yes, thank you very much.
Wow. We're kind of a DC family around here.
Okay, sorry.
Wait, why do you have the middle name Marvel?
I have Uncle Marvel who, in World War II, operated on Tojo.
What's Tojo?
Tojo is the leader of the Japanese forces, and Tojo tried to commit suicide. So my uncle came in and he was a doctor, obviously, and he stitched him up.
Whoa. Did he
save his life.
save Tojo?
Saved Tojo's life so we could later hang him.
That was so nice of us. With his own entrails.
Yeah. But
Why
we
didn't
found
your
this.
parents name you Marvel?
Well, they did.
Well, they
Right.
did.
They just buried it.
Marvel Cassidy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, his name is Marvel.
It's a
Keggy.
hidden superpower in the middle.
I sort of feel like if your name is Marvel, you automatically got conscripted into World War II. Because
I would think so. Yeah.
You have
and
to
he
be
was
that.
he was a captain.
Captain
very much.
Marvel?
Yes, thank you
Wait,
very
your
much.
grandfather was Captain Marvel?
No,
I thought that was Brie Larson.
Captain Marvel Keggy. Yeah.
Your uncle is Brie Larson?
Yes. Thank you.
The
very much.
director of Booksmart?
Yes.
That's right?
I think so.
There's so many Bries.
We haven't seen that film as a family.
Debris.
Are you thinking of Olivia Wilde, honey?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. And I hope neither of them is listening to this podcast.
Moshe always says like he's a Jennifer Garner fan, but I don't think he really knows.
What do you mean I always say that? That's not a refrain that I burst out with often. I once said, yeah, I like her. And then they started quizzing me. They go, really? What was your favorite film she was in? I was like, I don't know.
Turns out it's Pam DeWitt. It's like, wow.
I'm a big B. Arthur fan. That's what I am.
Well, Maria, I just saw you in Denver, and you talked very openly about your relationship,
Yes,
and you guys found each other recently, or like 5 years. Has it been 5
6.
years?
6.
Where
years?
did you find each other? What's your
Okay,
meet
Cupid.
cute? Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes.
And you were very happily married, and because I saw you right when you got married, and you guys were like kind of shy and hanging out. But then I saw you 5-6 years ago in Denver, and it's still the same. So
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what we're doing, but
No, we go to therapy.
We go to the therapist, go see Carol Grisham.
Who's
That's your therapist?
Oh, yeah.
Can we say
Carol
her name?
Grisham.
Okay.
Oh, that's John Grisham's great aunt.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
actually operated on the brain of Maria Bamford and Scott Marvel Cassidy.
But she's great. She takes insurance. She's very comforting.
How quickly did you guys start going to therapy together?
3 months.
3 months into our relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
I the longest relationship I've ever had was a year, and I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm not doing well. So
Mine was 3 years, and I'm a selfish artist, so I needed to expand myself.
My thing, Natasha's my longest relationship by 100%. I mean, she is. I couldn't even say a year. It's like people always say, "Do you have a relationship?" I was like, "Well, I would have things that were felt emotionally intense, or had things that were but those were long distance, or I had things that were intense and short. But I never had. She's my first period.
Oh,
It's hard finding someone you really like. I mean, it wasn't for me, but I think that no, I always had boyfriends.
You were a serial monogamous.
But also
type.
that was probably fear of being alone or something too.
How did you guys have the conversation that you wanted to go to couples counseling so quickly in the relationship? Was there any fear with that
Well, we
conversation?
both already go to therapy.
Both go to therapy, and I was like, my parents, like they've been married over 50 years, and my mom's a therapist, so I was like, hey, because I feel like I also don't have any friends who are married, so I need to get some real support of like how to stay together, like how to, because Scott, I was like, okay, he came on time to the date, he's not a drinker, like for me. Drugs and alcohol is a bummer for me, but yeah, he's down for a relationship. Let's do this. Like we only have so much time left. Why not see if it get some outside help and support, because I just don't know how to do it.
That's interesting, because we usually ask the couples that come onto our podcast, like, what's your core issue? What's the thing that you guys fight about the most often? But you guys probably have gotten to the core of the core issue.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are like in the kernel of the core.
The kernel of the core.
What is it? What is the thing that you guys...
I think it's, for me, it's like, because let me see.
Well, I saw your show in Denver, and you tell the story. I don't know how true it's true
totally
about the TV. And like you guys had a conversation about where the TV should go, and you're like, it shouldn't go above the fireplace. It shouldn't go in the bedroom.
What's the story?
Well, the whole idea is that, like, or at least for me, the premise of the joke is, you know how you have horrible interactions with friends and family that you just don't. You just will go, oh, I just won't see them for a couple weeks, or I won't call mom tomorrow because I just told her to fuck off. But in a romantic relationship, if you get that angry at someone, you have to see them 5 minutes from now. So, like, how do you manage conflict or things getting out of control? Because I've had those feelings of unmanageability with girlfriends or with at work or with my parents or my sister, but I haven't ever been able to handle it with so we went to the therapist, and she said there's this point when you are in conflict with somebody where your body can't take it anymore, where your blood pressure rises so much, it's kind of a saturation point where you will say or do something you regret unless you stop and splash water in your face, put on a rainbow wig and start singing, like distract yourself in any way you can.
I used to get to that point in relationships for no reason. There was no conflict. I used to call it like the executioner switch. That's how it felt like I had in my soul. There was an executioner, and he would flip a switch, and I'd be like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I started through therapy. Actually, I started to recognize that pattern, that what it was that was happening, and mostly that it was an illusion. And so when I was doing that work, and then when I started dating Natasha, somebody that was important for me to not lose, when I would feel it's almost like you could feel the executioner trying to pull the switch in the early days of our relationship, and I would tell myself, like, this is not real. This is, as my old AA sponsor used to say, that's a movie in your head. You can watch it, but feel free to ignore the information in it. And so I would go like, none of that. I would ignore the switch, because I knew it was inevitable that it would get pulled. And so how did that relate to the TV?
Well, just that we were moving. Neither of us had moved with someone together. It was over 100 degrees. Some reason I didn't. Well, neither of us got the electricity switched over to our new place. So we're moving. It's super hot. We're decided we would put the TV, and that was actually a positive interaction. And then we're having fun. And then Scott leaves. TV guy comes, and he says, where do you want it? And I say, on the one place it should have never been, which we had previously discussed, which is on the fireplace. So as they're drilling 2.5-inch diameter holes in what I now understand to be a 100-year-old sandstone fireplace. Scott gets home. He goes, where is it? He's exhausted, tired. I say, Maria, we talked about this for a weird amount of time. Can I not trust you to get things done by yourself? He goes to hug me, but I've begun to scream, cry, don't you touch me, don't you dare.
He's like, where's the rainbow wig? Where's the rainbow wig?
Well, and that kind of thing, like, I remember when I was a kid, and we both had childhood experiences of, like, where things get heightened. This is what I would do. I have bipolar too, where I do have some mood issues. So I would go, when I get upset, I would just start thinking of suicidal ideation, get myself weeping, and just think about how I was going to kill myself, or I was going to somehow leave my family, hopefully by killing myself. Scott, I think he had a different upbringing, but you had a different way of reacting to conflict in your family, right?
What was yours?
Well, my dad was an alcoholic, ex-Marine. My mom was bipolar.
This is the nephew of Uncle Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's nephew.
Exactly.
Nephew Marvel.
Bruce Cassidy. And he...
May he rest in hell.
So he'd come
With
home
Toe Jam or whatever the guy.
Tojo.
Tojo, what are you doing
look
here?
up Tojo.
Bruce Cassidy?
Tojo. So he was a drunk, so he'd come home and beat us up. So I found refuge in the woods and hide.
You would literally
run into the woods and hide under piles of leaves. Or sometimes I figured out where I could run away from him, run around the block while he was chasing me, and come back and hide in the basement.
Man.
So he would think I'm out in the woods.
It's
Now
like
I'm in the basement. So I was pretty smart.
I mean, I don't want to riff a joke on your trauma.
Go ahead.
But this definitely feels like the beginning of a Steven Spielberg, J.J. Abrams partnership.
Absolutely.
Like you find great power in the woods somehow.
Yeah, and there was
a
a little alien down there.
and then there's a hologram of Uncle Marvel that comes up, and there's a secret power that you've been waiting to discover.
And Uncle
this whole
Marvel's
time.
running away from Tojo.
That's right.
Well, so both of us, like, so that when we had the conflict, I'd go into weeping and sort of crying mode and freaking out, and then you would get whatever your pattern.
I'm going
is.
for the switch.
Right.
Yeah. And just kind of, I'm out of here. So
I'll take off for a while.
That's funny.
take off.
You found the you're able to find the woods and just move them into your soul.
No, he'd actually go for a 5-hour walk.
Yeah.
He went for a 5 or 6 hour
just to
walk.
get so I don't say anything stupid or pull the switch.
Right.
Because I'm married and I love this woman and I don't want to blow it because I've always blown it. Like, I'm out of here. I got my painting to do.
Yeah.
I'm an artist.
That's a painter.
I'm an artist.
It's a funny way to say it too.
Yeah.
It's just like a blue, like, I'm out of here. I got fine art to make.
Exactly.
Natasha has. We all have those.
Scott's is the worst.
Yes.
I mean, getting
I wasn't calling Natasha in to rank them, but
getting physically abused like that, I don't know, that feels like something I can't even relate to that. It just feels like, and just to be a small child and then having a child and like, how are people able to do that? They must be so broken inside.
Drunk.
They must not really be like fully formed in a lot of
drinking.
ways.
drinking does help,
In
right?
the 60s and 70s, I think it was much more. I mean, my mom slapped us around a lot. Like, my mom would at least hit me across the face every once in a while because she was high and tight on diuretics and laxatives. And,
Oh, you don't want to take diuretics. Oh, and
laxatives
laxatives.
and amphetamine. So it's just like, I only have 6 more blueberries for today.
But
Wait, you remember her saying things like crazy things?
Oh, she's still, I mean, people do not change. I love my mom.
She's a big time listener. She's written in a few times.
She's wonderful, but she is totally bought into all the diet programs, and that's a ton of my childhood is remembering just like my mom sitting there, us all eating pot roast, and then her sitting there with a green apple.
Oh.
Those horrible Granny Smiths,
And she actually would eat it at the table.
just like.
My mom does that too. She's really obsessed with the weight that she'll get to someday, and she's 75. It's like, at what point do you just say, this is the body I have? But it's such a pervasive
It's probably good
illusion.
that they diet though, because it's healthier. Well, no, eating a green apple is
My
with a
mom-
knife and fork.
I love my mom. A year ago, my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. She's getting treatments. It's shrunk a ton. She just joined this thing called Brightline. I lost 6 pounds. What the fuck? Like, just
Right.
like
You have cancer.
this
You
is-
don't want, That's the opposite
God.
direction to move
Like,
in.
She's doing that with
Yeah, no, she's a goose. She's good, but she's having a great time. She loves it. She loves food programs. She loves new. The thing is that you just don't eat after 5, Maria. Really, Mom? Is that what it is?
That's the thing. 40 years in, 60 years in.
How often do you make him come hang out with your family?
Well,
I love her family.
He does pretty well with my family. We try not to stay. We used to stay in the basement, but then that got a little too
rough.
We're too rough, and my mom would get sick of us. Well, so when do you guys? I mean, the Sheraton is just down. Just
your
half
mile. Suggested it?
Oh God,
that's
my mom,
amazing.
My mom.
That's what you
is
want.
Totally.
My mom was like, if I stay somewhere else, she'll probably cry.
Oh.
But I don't. Our house is small. Like I don't want to stay
That's
there.
Natasha's.
Moshe will.
That's Natasha's. Natasha's woods and scream cry is solve. Because she was. I don't want to tell your issues for you, but
You can.
But she was the oldest, and so she was always like caring for the kids, and so when conflict comes up, she's like, this conflict must end immediately, and I must find a way to end it. And what I do is I get right. I start getting like really correct about things, and I'm like the record keeper. I'm like, in February you said, and I said, and in response, and I like have the transcript, but it's probably the transcript that I've written, so it might be a little warped or whatever. Wow. So it's kind of we have kind of the opposite, which sort of is the same with you. Yeah, yours is up and yours is out. Yeah, and mine is win and hers is solve.
Okay, but to react to my parents, I would have to make my parents laugh all the time. So my mom always laughed, even though she was bipolar. She laughed all the time because I was a goofball. Yeah. And same with my dad. They would have fights, but I could make jokes about them or narrate the fight as it's happening, and it would stop the fight sometimes because I'm a goofball. And
that's when we've been connecting a lot too. Is that Scott started doing stand up like 4 years ago?
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yes.
Because I love open mics. I love.
Oh, yeah, you're weird.
No,
Maria's the biggest.
I've gone to a show that Maria had at the top of Runyon Canyon with a microphone. I've been to a show in her bedroom, like in probably 2 different houses.
Of the big headliners in comedy, I would say Maria slums it the most of anybody. You love it though. There's something about.
And it's not because I feel like people at open mics are the people who are the most passionate, who are enjoying it also the most, and who. And also I like whatever's close. I'm geographically, I'm slothful, so I just go. Is it at a hot dog stand less than 1,000 feet from? Yes.
Hilarious that you mentioned that, because I believe the last open mic I saw you at in the wild was at a hot dog stand. Yes. Literally was at a hot dog stand.
Mia's hot dog. It's wonderful. It's a very
good. You
good
also do a weird thing. It's no one else does this, which is that you like to run your entire headlining hour in front of an individual stranger at a coffee shop, right?
In like some city that she's in.
Yeah, I just did it in Greensboro, North Carolina. This young man, he met me, and I didn't actually get to do the full hour because I had mistakenly had us meet at what I thought was a coffee shop. It was a coffee roasting facility in an industrial park. And he's like, I don't know if this is good. And I'm like, well, and I'd taken a lift there. So he gave me a ride. And we went to the Dunkin' Donuts and we sat in the parking lot.
Just a stranger? You just got into his car?
I mean, you read
a fan?
Yeah. If you read somebody's Twitter feed, you can kind of get a sense.
I would never do that.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't care. And I just don't, I do care, but I read somebody's
What do you think
Twitter
of this,
feed.
Scott? Like, do you get scared or no?
I've visited while she's doing these talks, and 9 times out of 10, actually 10 out of 10, they're all nice people. And there are a lot of them are Maria Bamford nerds.
Wait, so basically what you do is on Twitter, you'll go to a town and you'll want to kind of get the words in your mouth. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a lack of ambition. I am not willing to rehearse on my own anymore. So I've got to get someone in to make me do it.
And you work under pressure, kind of.
I work under pressure. So it's also, it really helps with loneliness on the road. Like, it's nice to see a human being who's excited to see me.
Right.
And so it's very selfish.
Do you look them in the eye?
Oh, God, yes.
Wait, you look them in the eye for an hour?
If they want. I mean, there are requests made. Sometimes
what are
people
some
are
of the
like...
requests? Oh, it's like a BDSM relationship meeting up online. Like, what are your kind of hard boundaries? I'll tell you mine.
It's weird. I did go on so many internet dates. Like, I probably went on like 75 internet dates over the years. And so it kind of, without any sexual energy or of that creepy vibe, it's kind of you meet an interesting person, you get to find out about their life. They're usually all people who I relate to because they like my stuff. Hopefully, it'd be weird if they did. But I did have one guy who I met who did not laugh at all. Perfectly friendly, but did not laugh throughout the entire hour. And I was like, wow. But it was actually
Was
kind
he
of a
a
good
fan?
run. It was kind of unclear at the end of that. Like I was just like, I wonder if he was doing it sort of as an experiment and
Right.
Maybe he was
knows?
trying to be good, like.
He looks up. He's like, not
knows?
your best hour.
Yeah, exactly. Like
He's got a Maria
I
Bamford T-shirt
like
on too.
old stuff.
Wait, one more question about that. Do you improvise things while you're talking to them, or you're just running a straight thing?
I just run, and I've
You
always
record it, I'm sure.
No.
You don't record it.
Oh God, no. I just memorize because I've always memorized my stuff. I'm a very theatrical act. I'm not. I don't do. I do some crowd work, so I'll do the crowd work with them. Like I'll say,
That's very
"Hey,
funny.
does anybody have you one person? Have you ever gotten a raise or asked for a raise at work? Like I have a few times where I ask people about stuff. Like sometimes they ask for relationship advice, if people have any. But that hasn't worked out. That's not a good question because people always say, "Don't go to bed angry." Like that's the only piece of advice. It's like, yes, you've got to go to bed. Go to bed.
I once was taking a lift from Neiman Marcus to, I think maybe to the wedding. I think our wedding. I was like freaking out buying shoes or something. And I told the Lyft driver, I go, yeah, I'm just getting married. It was either that night or
think it
the
was like
next
the day
day.
before or something.
And he's like, oh my God, that's amazing. I've been married for 10 years and it's the best thing ever. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, I'll tell you, I have one bit of advice for you. Something that you can keep with you through your entire relationship. And I was like, wow. And he'd been really connecting with me on this marriage thing. And as we pulled up to my house, he's like, you ready? Don't go to bed angry. I'm like, that?
How dare you?
the most like greeting card, first thought. I know. My mom taught me that.
And it's just not true. Sometimes you should go to bed.
Totally.
Just go to bed.
Go to bed because you can't keep
Yeah.
scream crying
Yeah.
or running away if you're unconscious.
No, Papa Seroquel.
Scott, did you?
Well, Moshe, maybe we should take a call. Speaking of relationship
Oh, I
advice,
love
Oh yeah, wait, do you guys? Yeah, we're gonna do some relationship advice
okay.
right
Oh my
here
God,
in real
I'm so
time.
excited.
But
and
we'll-
we clearly have two successful relationships.
yeah, we want to. But after we take a call, we also want to talk about this project you guys are working. If you want to talk about that,
Sure.
You don't have to.
No,
We don't
no,
have
of
to.
course.
For sure.
And
We
yeah.
can talk about it now. Sorry.
no, it's
we're-
fine. We'll do
We're
a
not.
call.
We're not a perfect relationship. I've had a UTI for a month, and so we haven't
I don't
had
think
sex.
that really counts as not a perfect relationship if you have a physical ailment.
Gross.
Yeah,
can't- we
I'll
can't go
up-
at it.
Dirty bird.
I'll say that to Natasha often. If she's ever not feeling well, I'll be like, you are not pulling your weight as a partner. You have the flu, and it's been 4 days since we've had sex.
No.
Yeah, the road to perfect relationship is paved with cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice.
what they
Okay.
say. All right, should we do a call? We'll do
Yeah,
a
sure,
call.
sure,
We'll
sure.
come back and
Sure.
we'll
Yes.
figure out more. Everyone wants to eat healthy, but it's so time-consuming and expensive and difficult to remember to do it. You have to make a habit of it.
Daily Harvest makes it easier than ever to get back into the habit of eating more fruits and vegetables with thoughtfully sourced, chef-crafted food that can be prepared in less than 5 minutes.
You can fill your box with more than 65 different options like ready-to-blend smoothies, hearty soups, and their savory Harvest bowls.
Moshe, you love a bowl.
I love a Harvest bowl, and I'll add an avocado or top it with a fried egg.
Everything stays fresh in your freezer until you're ready to eat it.
And all of Daily Harvest ingredients are sourced and selected for maximum nourishment and peak season flavor.
Daily Harvest is the quickest and most convenient way to eat a delicious and nutritious meal or snack, whether at your desk, on the go, or studying, all you kids out there. So go to dailyharvest.com, enter promo code honeymoon to get $25 off your first box.
That's promo code honeymoon for $25 off your first box at dailyharvest.com.
That's dailyharvest.com.
Everybody knows that the best way to get hydrated is to charge into your local emergency room screaming obscenities and demand that they give you an intravenous bag of saline, then run out of the hospital without ever giving them any insurance information. But not everybody has an emergency room nearby, and not everybody's trying to risk their life with a security guard at an emergency room in order to get hydrated. Well, thanks, Liquid IV, We don't have to do that anymore.
Liquid IV is the fastest, most efficient way to stay hydrated. If you're trying to drink more water, Liquid IV hydrates you 2 to 3 times faster and more efficiently than water alone, with added vitamin B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C.
It's basically a little stick of powder. You rip it open and you pour it into your water. And when combined with 16 ounces of water, things like a specific ratio of glucose, sodium, and potassium will help your body absorb more of the water and the nutrients you drink directly into your bloodstream. I like Liquid RV because I don't like going into emergency rooms like that anymore, and I know you will too.
Honey, you just said Liquid RV.
Well, I like RVs too.
You got them on the brain. So go to liquidiv.com, and when you use our code honeymoon at checkout, you get 25% off anything you order on Liquid IV's website.
That's liquidiv.com, not RV. A Liquid RV is just a boat. Enter promo code honeymoon to get your savings started today.
Now we're going to call Ashley and Charlie in Washington State.
Hello.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Is Charlie on?
Yeah, he's here too.
Yes, ma'am.
It's Natasha Leggero and Moshe Kasher, and we have our friends Maria Bamford and Scott Cassidy to give you some advice.
Oh, hello.
No, not Oh Hello. It's a totally different podcast, totally different group. How are you guys?
Good. Just trying to get our kids settled down and hiding in our garage currently.
You guys are hiding from the child in the garage?
Yeah, children.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah. Put a little newspaper in the corner and, off they go.
So what's you guys' problem?
Natasha doesn't technically have a license in therapy, just so you know.
What's your deal?
Yeah, what's your fucking problem?
Well, let's see. Where do I start?
Depends on who you ask.
My husband and I have been together, married now for 5 years and together for 6. And
And is this Charlie?
yes, Charlie.
Yes.
Oh, that would be a real
I hope
reveal
so.
if it wasn't Charlie. My husband and I have been together 5 years. I am having an affair with this guy, Charlie, who's currently in my garage.
Okay, tell us.
Okay, so there'll just be random nights every now and then where, we go to sleep and everything's good. And then we wake up and we're having sex.
Oh,
Oh.
And it's probably something that'll happen like 1 or 2 times a month.
wait a minute. Are you guys
And-
bragging?
We don't want
Yeah,
advice as much as to
number.
record it for posterity.
There's other people we could be helping
Those
right
are the
now.
ones that we don't even know we're initiating.
Oh, right. So it's possible that it happens more than once or twice a month, but that you guys get all the way through it and no one wakes up.
Yeah, and it's like a big argument every morning about who started it.
Well,
Or, if it happens.
it's funny.
If it happens.
Yeah, we were like, did that happen last night?
It's funny because that's what the plot of It Happened Last Night is actually about. It's very ahead of its time film. But
Listen, you guys are obviously perfectly matched for each other. Congratulations.
No, we were
Don't fight about it. Just fuck all night.
Well, we were just having a conversation about never going to bed angry, but you guys probably shouldn't go to bed horny, I guess. So what's the issue? Are you guys
Well,
worried?
sometimes it's not even that. You just wake up and you're like, oh, now I got to clean this up.
Oh, it's who cleans up. Is that what the issue is? It's the cleaning?
Yeah, what is the question that you
Yeah,
have?
what is the real... Because it sounds like a lovely way to wake up.
My thing is this... I just feel like, is this normal?
Because a lot of people are kind of really weirded out by it.
Yeah.
The lack of consent. and
Right, there
stuff.
is a consent issue, but
So you guys are like telling everybody you work with too.
we're really trying to get everyone's opinion on this. And so what better way to do it than on your podcast, right?
But does one person feel violated in the morning or something? Or is it both people just feel relieved?
It's
the man jumps in. Nope, nobody feels violated. We're good.
no, yeah, nobody heard that. Yeah, no, let's well, it's just really not normal for a lot of people, and some people seem pretty weirded out by it.
Like, is it something we should be stopping?
And they're not like weird about sex either. It's not like they're like, oh, sex. It's like, some people like it's just they're like the sleeping and not knowing about it.
Why don't you just keep it to yourselves?
Yeah,
That is an idea.
If you're okay, if you're okay with it, like that's the only people that it matters to. Like, I mean, that's the
Right.
thing. Everybody's super weird. I mean, if you talk to anybody for 10 minutes, they'll tell you about their fear of ice or, like, I mean, actual ice cubes.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant the
no,
immigration and customs.
No, we should be afraid
yeah,
of ice.
Yeah,
but,
they deserve the fear.
but like, yeah, it's okay. It's not a problem unless it's a problem for you, but it doesn't sound like it is.
I think that's right. I think that, like...
No, you guys don't do this.
No, I think... Oh, no, it's happened to me too, but I think that it's
But
happened.
we just don't brag about it.
No, I wake up masturbating sometimes, and I don't know how I got there. But I think consent is just like all the other hot button topic issues in society today. Is not a binary thing, and so you guys can have a consent conversation that extends into your whole relation. It doesn't have to be incidental. It can say, we as a couple, we consent to having sex with each other in the middle of the night. That's a standing rule, and until I or one partner or another says that's changed, I think you're good. And then also, as Natasha said, keep it to yourself.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
That was fake.
You think that was fake?
Those are the first people that have ever called that seem like they didn't really have an issue.
I did understand what they were saying is that there are expectations in consent culture that certain sexual behavior is in the gray zone. And that is definitely in that gray zone. And so if you have things that are in the gray zone, you just have to talk about it and make sure it's not in the gray zone.
Moshe, I swear for the rest of our relationship, you can have sex with me in the middle of the night.
Thank you. This is a perfect example of a consent conversation.
That's so sweet.
Well, I had a girlfriend that would do that, get on me in the middle of the night. I would wake up in the middle of it. And what was scary about it is that she could get pregnant.
Oh,
I
totally.
did not like that. So I stopped. I could put a kibosh on that one.
You
On the
broke-
whole relationship.
Pretty much. That was the switch.
That was the switch.
We'll run
was when
into the
she,
woods. Yeah.
When she took advantage
Yeah,
of
I
you
was like,
sexually in the middle of the night.
I didn't feel violated. I just felt like, oh, that's bad news. Because
How were you?
I was probably like 26, 27.
That could have changed your entire life.
No, that's why to anyone listening out there, if you're going to take advantage of your sleeping partner, make sure to slip a condom or a diaphragm on during the process. Make sure to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to take some secrets.
Yeah, so we have a thing here. We have a secrets hotline, and we play people's deep, dark secrets.
They'll
and then-
call in.
So sad.
I don't have any secrets.
Good for you.
Never write it down.
One of my sister's friends says,
I never keep a journal. I never leave anything written down.
Do you keep a journal?
okay. Yeah.
I've never understood the process of journaling, honestly. It's so foreign to me to like have a thought and then I need to put it on paper.
I put the thought down to get more thoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I like the artist way thing where you write. But then, but I throw them all out. Like I never keep anything. I just, I don't have
It gives
any
you
interest in
ideas.
that. Yeah, it's just fun.
That's
yeah.
what it gives me ideas.
Okay, let's play a couple secrets.
Oh, fun.
Hi, so this is my biggest secret. One time I was smoking weed in the garage and my dad told me he'd be home in a few hours, so I thought I had time. And so I had all my weed out, everything was good. And then right before I was about to smoke, I was kind of getting a little nervous. And sometimes when I get nervous, I have to take a shit. So I took a shit in the garage and then I was planning on cleaning it up when I was done, but then my dad came home early, and then he walked in the garage, and he was like, "Why are you in here?" And then he was like, "It smells like pot." And I was like, "I think a skunk pooped in the garage." And then I pointed at the shit that I made. And then he believed me, apparently, unless he just... don't know if he actually believed me, but he said he did.
Little skunk
And he
called my
cleaned up the
daughter.
shit, and we haven't talked about it. So, yeah.
Oh my God. There's so much going on.
How do
in
we
that
have
story.
so many teenage listeners?
It's so precious.
I think they honestly just need advice.
There's so much that happened in that story. First of all, she glossed over the fact that at some point she got a little nervous, so she decided to shit on the ground in her garage.
Yeah,
So,
no paper. That would have
yeah.
been a second. Is there a bucket? Is there anything between that and the floor?
When I get nervous, I have to take a shit. What, uncontrollably, immediately, at that moment, at that place?
Did she ever smoke the pot?
I don't think. Oh, she did. She must have, because her dad said it smelled like pot. But
Oh,
I
right.
also have a hard time believing that a human being took a shit in the garage and the dad comes home and goes, It smells like marijuana in here. It's like, what about shit? It smells like shit in here.
Well, but yeah, the marijuana. I mean, I guess that's when. But I've done that many times in places where there hasn't been. I've had to do that. You put a
You'll
little
shit
piece-
in the corner?
I've done that in like places where you.
What's the
have to do
craziest
shows.
place you did that?
Acme Comedy Club. The green room.
Anyway, great set, like the new stuff. Anyways, don't mind the stank.
Oh, that's what you do when you meet one of those people for coffee, right? You shit and then you begin because you get nervous at the beginning.
No, it's just a couple where there wasn't a bathroom. I had this rehearsal space once that I did for a one-person show.
And you shit in the corner?
Yeah, but it was on a piece of paper towel, and it was really beautiful. I mean, it was scentless,
Did you leave it?
foot-long fecal.
Symmetrical.
No, I popped it up, and then I put it into the big bin outside.
That's amazing.
Listen, I've been camping.
I've never done that.
I've shit in a latrine at a rainbow gathering before. You know, they dig a big latrine, and then I heard a crazy story about the latrines at the rainbow gathering. Well, I wasn't there to witness this, but my friend Dave X told me this story that he was there, and this girl was running through the rainbow gathering with fairy wings on. She was high out of her mind, and she was like this little lithe hippie girl, like screaming, probably peaking on acid for the first time, flapping her wings. She's like, "It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful." And she was running, and she ran and tripped and fell directly into the latrine that they had dug. Like, I'm talking like neck deep in shit. And all of the people at the rainbow gathering were like, and they just all the hippie love like dissipated.
No love.
Like, I don't want anything. She comes out of it like her wings all covered in shit.
My.
And he said that one big like butch lesbian came over and was like, "I got you, honey," and like wrapped her in a blanket and like whisked her away and never saw her again. Where's the craziest place you shit, Natasha? No, I'm just kidding.
Only toilets.
Well, it's in hiking. You're not supposed to leave it in the woods, so you got to pack it up in
you
a
pack
little
it up?
pouch.
You don't dig a hole and...
No, now you got to pouch it.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I had a friend at an exclusive art party, and she went into the bathroom. There was a long line to get in the bathroom, so she went in, and the poop wouldn't flush.
Oh,
so she was
been
so
there.
embarrassed that someone might come in and see it. She put it in a tissue paper, put it in her purse.
Whoa!
And walked around the party.
Good for
with it.
her, actually. That's pretty
She didn't
cool.
want anyone to go, "Oh."
I get where she's coming from 100%.
That would stink so bad.
I would have excused myself and then like tried to throw away the purse
Throw it away.
somewhere.
I heard a
yeah.
story. A friend of mine.
No, I wouldn't have put it in my purse.
Yeah.
No.
Another story. A
Oh,
friend
can
of
I tell
mine-
you what I would have done?
Oh
though?
yes, please.
I would take all the toilet paper on the thing and just like cover it all over it and then say it's stuck.
That.
You would say it's stuck.
I would be like, no, I'd be like the guy before me.
Yeah,
You can't go in here.
Yes.
Oh, say the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
bathroom's broken. No
Yeah.
one can use this.
That's what I would do.
This person I met once, we were exchanging shit stories like we are right now, and she said she was at a party once, and she went outside into the yard or whatever, and she pulled her pants down to pee, but she was really drunk, and so she squatted to pee and just shit everywhere, and she's like, "Oh no." And didn't know what to do, and so she was like rifling through her purse, and she found a book, but she was so drunk and so embarrassed that she grabbed the pages out of the book, and it was like a really long book that she was like 2/3 of the way through, and she wiped up and walked away, and she realized that she had ripped the pages out of the end of the book, that she had ruined her reading experience.
I hope it was a Dan Brown.
Okay,
It
let's
was,
take another
Grisham.
secret.
It was your
It was a
therapist.
Grisham. It was a John Grisham.
Okay, let's take another secret.
Hey guys, I have a secret that I'm super nervous to talk about, even to an anonymous line. My ex-girlfriend,
Okay.
I was stalking her on FetLife because I was, and saw that she is FetLife friends with my good friend, and I'm 100% sure they're having sex. And I have so many feelings about it. I'm also married, and nothing's going to happen and will ever happen with her again, but I'm super bothered by it because there was something between them when we were together, and I knew it, and she denied it, and it was there, and now I am 100% sure that it was there then and is there now. And it's been with me for like a month and a half. And it's bothering me. And even talking about it now, I'm bothered by it. So that's a secret, guys. Thanks.
I have a lot of feelings about
I
this
have
one.
so many feelings about this.
Maria, please.
I attended, and I can't say which one, but let's say it was called Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. Which
Okay,
is a
but don't
12-step
tell us which
program.
one
I
it
can't
was.
tell you which one it was, but what if it was?
And, it's like this sort of obsession about something. It has nothing to do, that whatever that is, has nothing. It's something you feel bad about yourself, or you're bored, or you're sad, or you're angry. Something's going on. Like this, whatever this thing that you're obsessed with has nothing to do with what you're really obsessed with, which is that you're not feeling good. And to go to a therapist, talk about your real life.
Totally.
Like, and enjoy a hobby. My God, I know
Well,
they're so boring.
Well, he's
but
got a hobby. He's Fet.
That's
You know
the
what Fet
hobby.
life is?
No.
Fet life is like it's fetish life, I believe, and it's like it's the deep
So
deep,
he's
dark,
going on that?
furry BDSM like pony boy kind of like sex.
yeah, and that's fine. Like,
But not if you're on it without your partner
without
and
your
you're lying
partner,
about it.
or if you're doing it in a stalking, because it sounds like it's in a very creepy way, or in a
Totally.
way that's antagonistic.
Yep.
So that's where I think go for help.
I
know,
totally.
like,
Natasha,
I
thoughts?
agree.
Yeah, I completely agree too. My thought listening to that was like, this is exactly what you get when you behave in this way with your sex life, where you're stalking exes, where you're looking up the exes as if and
then confronting. He
the whole
confronted her.
justification of I knew they had something going on, and then it finally manifested. It's like good that they had some romantic energy. Now you're married, and they decided to get it on. It's good that they're having sex. If you're listening right now, it's none of your business. None of your business that they're having sex. Her love life, his love life. You didn't own her then, and you don't own her now, and you don't own your wife either. You don't own anybody but yourself, and yourself can go get help.
yeah, and to have some compassion. I just know that whenever I've been obsessed with another human being and kind of made them the answer, or like something I have to solve, and I have to solve it now and get some release from solving it, whatever I'm obsessed with, like that's been more about childhood trauma, about this process addiction of getting involved in something. Yeah, so yeah, just know that it's not about what you think it is.
Right. That reminds me, when I was myself in the 12-step program, I won't say what it is.
No, of course not.
But it was like the Automobile Association, but they did less. They did one less thing. And so as a result of being in that, I would sponsor people, and I would hear what's called the fifth step of many men. I've heard many men's fifth step over the.
What's the fifth step?
The fourth step, you make an inventory of you write down sort of all your resentments and your fears and the people that you've hurt and all sort of your secrets. You put them all on paper. It's kind of like journaling. Yeah. And then the fifth step is where you read it to another human being and kind of admit that stuff and get it out there. So now I'm going to go through some of the secrets that some of the people have told me over the years. No, I'm just kidding. But I noticed a very distinct pattern that the men that were the most obsessed with infidelity in their partners, because I heard the whole story, were themselves the ones that cheated on their partners incessantly. Yeah. And it always I was like, oh, it's so transparent. It's such a thin psychological process. It's like, well, you think people cheat because you cheat, and that's the behavior that you know, and they probably are not the ones that you're. So it's that. It's like it's never about the thing that you think it's about.
Yeah, and if you're in this fantasy, which is what it is, it's fantasy.
Right.
It's because your real life is a real bummer in some ways. Either it's boring, or you're, have something you have to talk about with somebody real, like your wife, face to face. Are you guys hanging out? Like it's got to be. Anyways, yes.
But if you're feeling that, you have to make some changes.
Yeah, you have to make some.
And change is hard.
And you always say about exploring people's digital life. What is it that you always say about looking through people's phones and stuff?
Oh, I really hate. I had a situation where I read someone's journal, and I just feel like I took it in a way it just made me so upset, and then it wasn't exactly what I thought it was, and then I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna read someone's stuff. I'm never gonna try to read their emails. I'm never gonna try to read their texts. And, you know, if I'm with someone and something happens, then whatever, we'll deal with it. But it's like, I don't want to ever try to hunt anything down.
Because you're always going to find something that you didn't like, but wasn't even the thing you were hunting for in the first place.
Well, and this, my friend Jackie Haitian always says, like, she has this funny joke about how, like, I'm just going to live life as if everybody's awesome. And then if I die surprised, you know, good on me. You know, like, okay, you know, if you get, I mean, part of the risk of being alive is to have human relationships and go, oh my God, that was fucked. Like,
I mean, our issues are, always have to remind her to keep the doors closed because of our dogs, or turn her hair curler off because it could catch fire.
Yeah.
But that's my problem too, because I'm very forgetful. And when I lived by myself, I would do things like that. So I think I project onto you those issues.
Oh, I relate to that too, totally.
So
I'll tell you something that, like, we were in Temple the other day, and it was Yom Kippur yesterday, and Natasha was like looking at her phone, and it was none of my business. I was like,
well, I had the phone. I clicked on it once in a bag.
no, but I'm saying
It's not like I'm like.
I was like, don't do that.
well, how do you know you're not talking about your sins?
No, but I was like, don't do that. And she got reasonably upset because I wasn't minding my own business, and she's an adult woman, and I'm not really there to regulate her behavior.
Well, it's just like, trust me that I'm not going to like go do it too much.
Yeah.
Also, even if you do, what business is it of mine? But do you know what it really is about? I realized, Natasha, I don't think I talked to you about this.
Yes.
It's like my whole childhood in Temple. My dad was like an ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jew that I would go to 6 weeks a year and pretend to know what I was doing.
I read your
my
book.
whole oh, awesome, thank you. My whole childhood was about being in Temple, ashamed that I was going to fuck something up. I used to cross my legs and go, you probably can't cross your legs. And I would like uncross your legs, and I'd be like picking at my fingernails, like, yeah, I'm sure you're not allowed to pick your... My whole childhood in Temple was like, I'm going to do something wrong. It's like Carrie. It was like, they're all going to laugh at you. You know what I mean? And like, so that's what it was about.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
That's nothing to do with you. It's like me. It's like,
Right.
I'm associated with that Temple. People are openly texting, and nobody gives a shit. But I'm still
what
just
you
like,
guys are saying is that it's not about the situation.
it's never about the thing. You think it's about.
Yeah, I think about, like, what do I think, well, I'm trying to think of what I've been less
You don't have to tell us.
I don't know.
But you can.
Loving or accepting about. I think, sometimes we both have mood issues, so it's like, Scott is from Philadelphia, so he's very verbal if he's discontent in the car with someone else is driving.
What an erudite way of saying he's an asshole.
My dad,
He's from Philadelphia.
Say no more. I think I get it.
Square. Oh, yes. From the finer families.
Let me just say, while driving.
But my dad, Midwest, was all passive aggressive. So my dad, the harshest thing he would say was like, oh, boy, all right. Well, that goes. Woo!
In that case.
And so, if Scott does something, gives somebody the finger or whatever, I just get like, and it's like, well, it's okay. It's okay.
I don't know if he should be giving people the finger in
I
traffic.
usually don't. But if it's egregious,
You don't know
awful,
people have guns.
I know.
People get easily activated.
It's usually if they're going on the off ramp, then you go woo. They're not turning around.
I had a thing where I was driving. I was
that I can do.
I was trying to take a right, and then I had to immediately get over into the lane to get onto the freeway, and this person wouldn't let me in, and I like did a thing, or you know what I used to do? This is really bad. I would point and laugh. That's the thing that I would do. I'd point at them and I would laugh at them. I got one taxi driver in San Francisco so angry one time. I was pointing and laughing. He pulled up on me, like right up next to me, and he spit on my car, but his passenger window was rolled up, so he spit on his own car, and it was like the greatest moment of my life. But this time, I tried to get into the lane, and the guy, like, I didn't calculate that he was more from Philadelphia than I was, and he started pulling up on me, throwing things at me, like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Because I'm going to die because what? Because I wanted to like mock a person.
Yeah.
And that moment was so scary to me that since that time, I've never done anything ragey on driving. I drive however, this is my strategy. I drive however I want, including pulling people, cutting people off, anything I need to do.
Yeah.
and then I just never make eye contact. So
Oh,
I will
that's
drive as I want. I'm not a
That's
meek
smart.
driver, but I just don't even look. I just because I don't want to.
That's smart.
I don't want to be Michael Douglas and falling down.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
Okay, should we take another
Yeah.
secret?
So I've spent like a lot of money on an in-app purchase from a particular game on my phone. It's like for children. The other day, my friend asked me how much I thought I'd spent in total, and I tried to lowball it. So I said I think like $30, and she was like super shocked. And it's so much more than $20. It's so much. It's probably more. Thanks.
Wait, more than what?
How much did she say it was? Let's play that again. The last little bit.
20.
No, but then she goes, it was probably.
Probably like $100. It's probably more.
It's probably more.
She seems like 14.
She seems sweet. I every once in a while, because you get these kind of dark ones, like people's real dark secrets. And the FetLife guy, I'm sure he's ashamed to admit it and angry. And, I do think there's something about like admitting a secret is like empowering and awesome.
So really what she's saying is she's kind of lying. This is her first maybe experience of addiction.
Yeah.
I guess
She's kind of
so.
addicted to this thing and she's embarrassed by it.
I just think it's funny when someone's deep, dark secret is like, you're good. Walk it off.
But it's so fun. I also may have attended another 12-step program.
What wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't Debtors Anonymous.
Okay, it wasn't that for
It's
sure, right?
all about money, and it is hilarious.
Oh, my
If you ever
goodness.
want to feel, because people are goofballs.
Did you feel like you kind of didn't belong there?
Oh no, I totally belonged. Yeah. And the reason I would have gone to something like that is because I just didn't know how to have and keep a job. It's a free place you can go to learn in a cognitive behavioral way to change your behavior.
And change your relationship to money.
To money, yeah. And I'm not a religious person. I'm atheist. So that's how I see 12-step groups.
Right.
I see them as a free place, sometimes with food, that you can go and get some help. But sometimes it's fun to get specificity. Like, it's okay if that's fun to you. Like, even if you're spending $300 a month, if that's what's joyful to you, enjoy it.
Sure.
Just enjoy it. And I wish Jackie Cation, we could get her on the line, because I know she plays Marvel Puzzle Quest and she buys all the new characters.
She does a lot of in-app purchases.
Oh, God. And Jackie, she treats herself like a queen.
She does?
Oh, God,
I love
yes.
that.
Yeah. No, she's
like, I deserve all the in-app purchases.
half the time she is in
It's
first
so
class.
Jackie too, because she's not like going to Chanel and buying like $1,000 pair of boots or whatever. She's like,
Splurging
the queen
on it.
deserves the new Iron Man mask. She deserves it.
She got a full-on Captain America sweatpants.
She wore it to
suit
Paris.
and wore it to Paris. They went to Paris for 2 weeks.
Good for her.
She is doing it, and it's so funny. She opens for me on the road, but she's got the Black American Express, so she is always in first class, and I'm always in steerage.
No way. She's your opener.
Wait, how did she get a black
love
American? Did her dad help her?
No, you have to pay. You have to pay the fee, $500 a month, to get the American
Whoa.
Express, and then you put everything on it. And as long as you put everything on it, including she's always way ahead of me in terms of.
That's ooh.
For $500 a month, though, that's a lot.
No, for a year.
Oh, a year.
Why?
That's not bad.
Okay.
So it's not.
This podcast is brought to you by American Express,
Delta
Black
One.
Card, and Delta One.
Well, and I think she loves Delta because it's a game. It is a game. It's
Oh,
It's
right.
a ridiculous
She likes the
game.
points.
Yeah, and it's so hilarious because it's just we both got diamond, which means I don't know what it means. Anyways, we both got diamond. We're like high fiving in the airplane, and this guy turns around in first class and goes, "Diamond doesn't mean anything anymore."
What a joy kill.
I know.
What a dick, too.
We still get a free banana in comfort economy.
He's like, diamond means nothing. I'm rich.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you bring up a really great point, which I think we all have to remember, which is enjoy your vices.
Enjoy your vices and don't let them take over, for
And
sure.
you have no idea what your girlfriend's buying, or what crazy.
People has the most banana pants personal finance stuff going on. It is wonderful. including myself. Like I went to anyways, I've had people look at my numbers and they're like, say what? Like, what are you doing? Like, I have this
11%.
One of my OCD anxieties has always been about ethical issues. So one thing we do is we give 11% of the net after expenses, but before my salary from the business to charity.
From your
My
the
total
Maria
business.
Bamford business.
So
Got it.
so we've given so far $40,000 this year.
Why?
And
By the
why
way,
11%?
people can figure out exactly what you made this year just by doing There's a Maria Bamford nerd at home who met you for coffee with a whiteboard and red string.
I'm totally open book accounting.
Yeah, no.
I earn about a gross. The business Bamfuco earns about a little over $1 million a year, and then I my net salary is about $250,000 a year. So, anyways, FYI, we give 11% because it's one.
That guy just ripped all the red thread down. Fuck it. There's no point in doing this work.
She gave me all the secrets. It's 1% better than the Christians.
That's so not Christian of you.
You should have done 10% 0.5.
You could have saved a little money and still beat the Christians.
Do those numbers. That's a trip to Hawaii over 5 years.
Yeah, that's a trip to Hawaii rather than, I don't know, saving the rainforest or whatever bullshit you're up to. What are your go-to charities? What do you love the most?
Downtown Women's Center.
Downtown Women's Center, like that. It just is such a beautiful place. And I mean, I'm sure almost everybody in LA has been on the edge of homelessness, especially now the rents are insane. So, I love that. And then where
PAFA,
the art school that he went to, because he went on full ride scholarship. And just anything
the homeless.
We do a fundraiser once a year in Highland Park for there's the
Recycled Resources.
Recycles Resources, which is just a homeless nonprofit that helps people get showers and food and stuff on the street.
I heard this great story at Yom Kippur, actually, from I think the woman who created Friends, actually. Was the one telling the story, but she was saying she was doing the fundraising drive for the temple, which they have to do every year on Yom Kippur because that's when all the people come. Whatever, she was telling this story. It was really fascinating. It made me think about maybe wanting to do it myself, which is that her parents were involved in this like group called the Kindness 10 or something like that. It was basically like her parents were friends with 10 other couples. Just that was their friendship circle. And at one point they realized they were all successful people and they all had money. And so they kind of codified their friendship group into the Kindness 10. And all year long they would pool extra money, little bits of money into like a mutual account that every year they would vote on what to do with the account on a very small level to help. So like one year they bought like the Jewish Senior Citizen Center a copy machine, and one year they sent a girl who had her leg amputated, her and her family on a family vacation for the first time. They'd never been on a vacation before. It was like, because you have these micro charities, and then it's like, it was just such a nice thing to think.
But now it's like, I feel like people would take that energy and they're just like on their phones.
You mean instead of becoming the Kindness 10, they're like buying an in-app purchase on an online video game? Maybe.
Yeah, it
just takes a lot of organization.
Right.
Like, do you guys like, it seems like you're focused on the homeless.
Well, I think, both of us have, before I, got some outside help, I, lived in rooms or cooperatives or on couches and stuff like that. So we're down that everybody should get housing.
And I think that's a really good thing to like pick a charity or pick something to help, even if it's just with your time, something that resonates with you.
Yeah.
Everybody has like two causes. Everybody cares about everything, but everybody has two causes that makes their guts churn. Like, mine are like the environment and prison justice stuff. And it's like, it doesn't mean like you don't care about the environment. Like everybody has these. I think that's really a fascinating idea.
I like to help the little kids in the arts because like I went to like an art school and it like really, I wouldn't have been able to like pursue my dreams and be able to make money in life if I wouldn't have had this. And now they've taken all the funding from so many of the schools and It's kind of sad if you think about if you grew up and imagine like you're 8 or 12 and there's like only science, math, no extracurricular activities.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's a pretty sad life.
yeah. Well, that's a nice thing that's been really fun in our relationship is trying to decide where to put the money, like just
That's
to
cool.
pick out where the money it goes. So that's fun.
One of the things I'm most grateful for is that I do not have sleep issues. Do you?
I don't, but I'm friends with a lot of people who do.
Yeah, we have a friend who can't get to sleep without watching an episode of NCIS
I think I have 2 friends like that.
or Law and Order. Can you imagine? Are you struggling with sleep these days? Well, you are not alone.
1 in 3 U.S. adults does not get enough sleep. And if you're not sleeping enough, it can affect your cognitive functions during the day, like learning, problem solving, and decision making.
And that's why we are partnering with Calm, the #1 app for sleep.
With Calm, you'll discover a whole library of programs designed to help you get the sleep your brain and body needs. Like soundscapes and over 100 sleep stories narrated by soothing voices.
Like Jerome Flynn from Game of Thrones and Stephen Fry.
So, if you want to seize the day, sleep the night with the help of Calm. Right now, Endless Honeymoon listeners get 25% off of a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/honeymoon.
That's CALM.com/honeymoon. 40 million people have downloaded Calm. Find out why.
Call Calm today.
Say Calm. Call Calm. It's an app, dude. Don't call it. Go to CALM.com/honeymoon. Calm.com/honeymoon. Or pick up the phone and dial CALM.com/honeymoon to get 25% off.
Honestly, I'm going to try this.
You should. Sound like you need some sleep. Honey, would you ever consider getting a life insurance policy that would pay me $4 million if you were ever to meet an untimely death?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Great. Well, it's difficult, though, to get those policies started because it's complicated and you're not exactly sure what to do. Well, Policy Genius is the easy way to shop for life insurance online. In minutes, you can compare quotes from top insurers to find your best price.
Once you apply, the Policy Genius team will handle all the paperwork and red tape. Thank God.
This October, take the scariness out of buying life insurance with Policy Genius.
Go to policygenius.com, get quotes, and apply in minutes. You can do the whole thing on your phone right now.
And they don't just do life insurance. They can help you find the right home insurance, auto insurance, disability insurance. And once you apply, the Policy Genius team, they take care of everything. So go to policygenius.com today.
Insurance is important. You should have it.
Policy Genius, the easy way to compare and buy life insurance. Let's call Diana in Riverside.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Diana?
Yes, this is Diana.
Hi. It's Moshe Kasher.
And Natasha Leggero, and we're here with our friends Maria Bamford and Scott Cassidy.
Hi, I'm so nervous right now for some reason.
That's all right. We'll guide you through this gently. Why don't you just start by telling us why you called in the first place?
So the reason I called was because lately, me and my best friend have been having so much pressure on each other that my family keeps asking me why we're not together, basically. Like, why we're not a couple. And it's honestly kind of, irritating me.
Do you guys have any romantic connection or any link at all romantically to each other?
None at all. If anything, we literally see each other as brother and sister, basically.
So you're feeling like your parents are putting undue pressure on you.
Because you would make a good couple, in their eyes.
Basically, yeah. Because they've known him for almost about 7 years. And they honestly never met any of the guys that I've actually been with. Mm-hmm. So they feel like he's more compatible with me than anybody else that I've known.
That's interesting. So wait, why haven't your family ever met any of the people you've actually been with?
Because those relationships never really lasted that long.
Got it.
So either my partner's always lied to me, gone behind my back, some stuff like that, basically. So I'm a very gullible person, and I tend to pick the wrong people, people for me.
And they recognize him as a strong person that they all like. So they're like, oh, it'd be perfect for you guys. I mean, the truth is he's a perfect friend for you. And that's just what you need to tell them. You're so happy he's in your life and you love him, but it's not like that. And there's someone else out there for you and you're not sure when it's going to happen, but you're excited to meet them, you know?
Yeah, and if they want to hook you up with some hot available single.
What, her mom? Her mom?
Oh my God. I told my parents, I said, listen, Mom, if you have a candle lit for my husband, you know, that's my mom had a candle lit all the time.
For me?
Yes, for you.
You mean to make him come?
Yeah. Oh, she's a big Christian. And so I was like,
she was summoning him.
Yeah. Well, I'll go out with anybody. I went out with a snowmobile dealer in Duluth. I'm down. Introduce me. Sport me about.
And I think that would be good to say that to your mom too, or to your sisters or your friends, and just be like, yeah, put it out there, and then they can start thinking.
Yeah, give them a job. If that's, or if you don't want a part. Sometimes people, you know, if you aren't sure if you want a relationship right now, just tell them that, and then they'll ask them about themselves. Everyone's will talk about themselves forever.
Yeah, I love this advice because I think it's hilarious to have your mom set you up with sexual partners. But I would actually it sounds to me like this is a good opportunity for you to set some boundaries with your mom and your family and say, I don't really like discussing my love life with my family. But maybe you do. Maybe you do. I think what this is probably, tell me if I'm wrong here, but you're saying you've had a slightly unsuccessful relationship track, which, you know what, I had an incredibly unsuccessful relationship track, and everybody here except for Natasha, who had nothing but long-term romantic, monogamous, love-enduring relationships, and then I came along, and I guess she was like, you'll do, Moshe, has had. So, like, there's hope on the horizon, you know, and your worth isn't tied up in whether or not you have a partner anyway, but maybe part of what annoys you so much about it is, like, this feels like a kind of an insecure place for you anyway, than to have your parents coming along and telling you they know the answer. Is that right?
It really is, because every single time I've always talked to a guy with my mom mainly. She's like, why don't you pick somebody that's actually rich, or why don't you pick an Asian?
An Asian?
Yeah.
Is she Asian?
They're rich and they're smart.
Wait, is she going for a crazy rich Asian? Because that's a great idea.
Wait a minute. Is your mom Asian?
No, she's not.
Do you know, this is a cool example of when people are so not racist, they become racist again. They go so far into non-racism, it is racist. Like, you know, I really want you with an Asian. It feels like, no, Mom, this doesn't feel progressive in any way.
And what race is your best friend?
We're both Mexican American.
Okay.
So you should. Oh, that's what you should say.
He's not Asian.
Every time she brings it up, you go, "I want to marry him so badly, but he's not Asian, and
he's not rich or crazy."
I mean, but the truth
that I've told her that I've actually almost had a boyfriend that was Asian, but he was too dumb, so I just kind of had to drop.
Oh.
Well, we're in murky water here.
But I do think that most people would agree that a mother telling you that you need to date someone who's rich or a certain ethnicity, like that's not that fair or cool.
Well, and I know my mom, when my mom told me stuff like that, like you needed to marry a doctor, she would say, or somebody rich, it kind of made me feel like I was incompetent, like I couldn't take care of myself, or that my plans were a bad idea because, you know, I've got to have somebody to take care of me, which turned out to be not true at all. I did a very good job of taking care of myself, yeah, earn far more than my father ever did, who, by the way, was a doctor.
I think that's a really interesting point, that somebody in general getting that involved in your love life, especially your parent, is essentially telling you, whether it's overtly or not, you can't do this alone. And it's not true. You can handle your love life on your own. You can handle making choices on your own. Even though your track record hasn't been stellar and perfect, I think it's time to build some boundaries.
Yeah, and you're not alone. If you do have a loving family, if you do have friends, you have this wonderful friend who can help you make a better decision with your next romantic relationship. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's a dude is awesome because then he can say, like, it's nice. My husband will kind of rate my friends' boyfriends and go, yeah, that guy. He's not a keeper.
No.
Well,
I was right on a few of them.
Yeah, you were right
Wait,
in the field.
how do you rate me?
Oh, no, you guys are perfect.
Yes.
No, I had a girlfriend we went out to dinner and the guy showed up an hour late and he was a very by the book douche.
Diana, what do you want out of a partner? Do you even want a partner?
Right now, I've been so busy with school, it hasn't been the first thing on my mind.
And that's something to tell your mom, too.
That's true. Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh my gosh.
I'm very young, but the thing is, I feel like everything I wouldn't say what's wrong with me, but like, I feel like there's so many things in my head that I don't have the mentality to be in a relationship.
And you're 19, your brain hasn't fully formed yet on some level. Like
it's been hard even to talk to you on this call, Diana.
No, but like for real, like from what I remember being 19, like I feel like you give yourself some time to decide, what do you want to do with your life? And then you can also be a better partner for someone because you're more clear of who you are and what you'd like to do. Because if you're not finished with school yet, did you want to finish school or have a degree or something? Or what was your...
Yeah, actually, I just finished my first baking program. I got my certificate and everything. And so I'm honestly on my way to actually transfer to a culinary school, maybe even out of state.
Amazing. Wait a minute. You have a baking certificate? I actually know. I know a guy for you that'd be perfect. It's me, actually. You could move in with me and Natasha and just bake us brownies. No nuts. We don't like nuts in our brownies.
Moshe doesn't like nuts.
We could be contestants on your reality show where you just bake stuff and it would be called We'd Eat That.
We'd eat that, a.k.a. You Don't Need No Man.
Diana, do you feel like you got some advice?
I really do. Like, I feel like this cleared a couple of things that I've had in mind.
Yeah, it's obvious that your mom needs to get some boundaries and you should be friends with who you want because you got this bright, super awesome life in front of you. And next time your mom gets involved in your love life, you just look her in the eye and you say, actually, what I'm really interested in is hardcore baking-related casual sex. And she'll probably leave you alone for at least 5 years.
Yeah, or give her the job. I love the Mom, you got to set up dates for me.
Yeah,
now it's on you.
I wouldn't be surprised if she actually did.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's stories for years to come.
But don't date any of them.
Yeah, Diana,
I wouldn't.
You seem awesome and like you have a good head on your shoulders. You know what you want. Your mom doesn't know what you want, but she's your mom, so she still thinks she does. So ignore her, but love her like we love you because we think you're awesome.
Bye.
Thanks for talking.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Diana.
Bye.
Oh, she was sweet.
Oh, that was so nice.
She was really cute.
That was a cute
But it was
one.
so obvious.
I know. Well, we got a lot of...
But that's because she's so young. She
I
just
know.
hasn't learned
Well, when you're 19 and, especially if you have a family that's really close like that, it can be very difficult to say, finally, Mom, this is an area that you don't belong in mentally. This part of my life you have to step out of. I get that.
And if somebody, I know my parents, their marriage was so important to them. It was such a positive thing in their lives. So it's they're they want that for you, as soon as possible. And I'm I can't figure it out. I'm sorry.
And I have noticed that people whose parents have really good, strong, long-lasting relationships, the marriage becomes like an entity in the psyche of all of the kids and the family. Yeah, and it becomes kind of overwhelming. I had dual legends in my family, which was my mom and dad. They found each other, moved in together 2 weeks later, spent 7 years in an abusive relationship together, and then broke up and hated each other for the rest of their lives and my young life. And then my mom remarried to a man who she met and was not interested in for like 2 years, and he kept like he wasn't really pursuing her because that's not really his personality, but it was the opposite of the like hot flashbang. What do they call in the Godfather book? The thunderbolt that hits you. It was very much the opposite. It was like the slow. Finally, they decided they'd go on a date, and then he started coming, and then now they've been married for, I don't know, 30 years now. So I had these like two kind of polar opposites relationship modeling in my life. And your thing was...
Mine was similar to yours where my parents hated each other.
Yeah.
And my mom would always say, like, don't get married. I think she had like these rules for it too, like, it was like till you're 27. Like that was like it was like all these like, you know.
You're like, how old were you when you got married? 26. What about
like,
your parents, Scott? Did they?
Awful relationship. They were married 21 years.
And they stayed together
my
that
dad
long.
beat the crap out of her.
I bet.
Broken jaw.
Oh my God.
So he divorced her. We were Jehovah's Witnesses also as a child. So
Well, this all tracks with the theology of Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah.
I mean, come on. It was
no
awful.
Christmas
Yeah.
and
That's what they'll do.
No
They'll knock on
happiness.
your door. You open it. They attack you with a broken bottle,
And
right?
she had to leave the Jehovah's Witnesses to get a divorce because even though she was getting abused, they wouldn't allow her to get a divorce. Even though my dad wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. So then she divorces him. Years later, she starts having an affair with the Charlie Chip guy. Charlie Chip was a guy that came by in a truck full of potato chips and cookies. So after a while, we realized that
She was home all day, and then
Yeah,
she would like
and
see
the chip
him.
truck was there. It was
Oh,
a big
no.
like UPS truck to Charlie Chip.
Charlie Chips.
And it was at there every day. And he was married. This went
wow.
on for about 11 years. And he was a straight up racist. He had
Oh,
a
no.
hot rod that he would race. And my mom would go see him race this hot rod. And we hated
Your mom
him.
had terrible taste.
Horrible taste.
she's wonderful.
And then
Linda
one day,
is the best.
he didn't want to see her anymore because they were married.
Yeah.
So she wants to go to see his house just to see where he lives. And she passes out in the car and smashes into the tree in the front of their house.
Oh.
And the car's demolished. And he runs out to see what's going on. And she's laying there in the wreck. And she's like, "Oh, Keith, I love you." And their family's like, "How does she know your name?"
That's how they found out about the Charlie Chip guy.
Poor Linda.
How did you?
No, it's hard. My mom picked bad too. I mean, it's like it's just very hard. I think women were. It was just like a different
news.
world.
Yeah.
Well, and it's still hard because there is that romantic story of like I've dated many people, obviously hundreds. Oh my God. But you know, like I was in a relationship for a while where just one of my longest ones where friends and family had to go, "Hey, Maria, you got to get out of this. Like he's scary." And I was like, what? Like, and it was totally like movie of the week Lifetime, but I was like, he kind of pushed me while the car was moving out of the car, but I was being a little bit talkbacky. I don't know. Like, it was just so, it's weird how easily you can kind of just go, because people can be so charming, or if somebody has an addiction. I mean, everybody
Or you're really
knows-
attracted to them, or whatever it
they're
is.
foxy foxes.
Your brain, especially the broken brain, has this really strong ability to lower its standards to meet its circumstances.
Yeah.
And go, because it's what I'm doing, that means it's normal. It's like, no, it's just it's where you are right now. But if you just get out of the car and walk a block away, you'll go, whoa, that wasn't like. Now I'm
that
sure
was
looking
weird.
back,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow, how could I have done such a
That
thing?
was insane. Yeah, no, and you know, I was sober, been to 12 test programs for 20 years, and I just I think, but I had not been diagnosed with a mental illness. I had, so I had mood issues. I think this person I dated had mood issues, so it was but I think you hope for the best too. You're
Right.
always like, oh, we'll just get through this.
That's what I'm struck with both of you, but specifically you, Scott. Like, how did you take that childhood and the broken pieces of that you were handed by your family and become such a good partner to be had? You know, I mean,
Honestly,
what was the work that you did to get there?
I'm an artist, so I knew I wanted to be an artist since I was a child. And my parents didn't want anything to do with me, so I could pursue that without any problem because they could care less. And even I didn't go to art school till I was 26 because I had to pay for it. So I was in the punk rock scene and everything. So that was my community, and I knew I didn't want to drink because my dad kind of would come home and vomit all the time. So it was sort of a Pavlovian thing where I didn't want anything to do with that because
he drooled too much. Yeah, he overdrooled.
He overdrooled.
It's disgusting. And so I think
You self-directed.
yeah,
you were like,
yeah.
I'm
And
gonna.
I loved art and music, and that's what I pursued, and that's where all my friends were in. So, and I mean, a lot of friends had drug problems, but I just knew that I couldn't do it physically or.
So you were like as if almost repulsed into health.
Yes. I did not want anything. I don't want to be like my parents at all. Like drinking, carousing, having extramarital affairs, things like that. I wanted to be the opposite.
Right.
And your siblings are so much like that too. Like everybody's very straight laced and like very together.
It's really
I am
amazing.
the weirdo in the family though. So
Yeah, it's good to be weird, but not to vomit and attack with broken glass. You really are. You know what you are?
What am I?
Having come from that background and becoming the man you are now. You know what you are?
What?
You're a real marvel.
Oh, touche.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so we.
I didn't even see that coming.
I definitely set it up long enough.
We all want to do the right thing to keep our bodies healthy in the long run.
But even if we try really hard to eat kale salads and drink green smoothies, we're still most likely not getting all of the essential nutrients we need on a daily basis.
Enter Ritual, the obsessively researched vitamin for women.
Oh man, I can't take this.
Sorry, honey.
Ritual's Essentials have the nutrients most of us don't get enough of from our food, all in their clean, absorbable forms. No shady additives or ingredients that can do more harm to your body than good.
2 easy-to-take capsules provide 9 nutrients you need to support strong foundations for your health.
Would you ever try something like this?
I have tried it. They sent it to me. I liked it.
What'd you like about it?
Gave me more energy. It seemed like.
Ritual's Essential for Women is the multivitamin reimagined. It's traceable and transparent. If you're one of these obsessive label readers, all of Ritual's vegan-friendly, sugar-free, non-GMO, gluten-free, and allergen-free ingredients are printed on the label. So they're out there for the world to see.
A subscription is easy to start and it's easy to snooze. It's only $1 a day to have all the essential nutrients your body needs delivered every month to your house.
So Ritual's offering all of our listeners 10% off for their first 3 months. Fill in the gaps in your diet with Essentials for Women. Visit ritual.com/honeymoon to start your ritual today.
That's 10% off during your first 3 months at ritual.com/honeymoon.
I have a question as we wrap things up. We're wrapping things up. So you guys are happy together, have this great relationship, and both of you have separate mental health issues that you deal with. Mm-hmm. When you're in conflict, I'm just curious, and tell me if this is too personal a question. Are you able to say, like, for lack of a better language, like this is the disease working? Not, or is there no separate, as opposed to like you're being an asshole or you're having a mental health issue at this moment?
Well,
or is there a difference?
Sometimes it can come from either of us.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he'll make a joke or go, like save it, like it's about to go in one way and it's like you're good at making a joke or reaching out and like hugging me or something, like doing something physical. And then Sometimes I'll actually say, "Oh, I'm about to cry, so we gotta hold up here." Or sometimes we've stopped the car. I mean, LA you're always in a car,
right?
So we've stopped the car on the side of the road. Like I don't want to get into.
We gotta take breaks.
Take a break.
Yeah.
So you've learned like best practices to make your relationship flow.
Yeah, and you don't have to talk it out. Like let's listen to some music for 20 minutes and just let all your blood pressure go down. Yeah. Like. Why do we have to get everything resolved? It's not getting resolved, so everybody shut up.
Mm-hmm. Or you see patterns, like I know she gets stressed out before shows.
Yes.
So sometimes it's just like, I'll just back off.
Maybe now's not the time.
Yeah,
right.
not the time.
And that's why she married you.
Yeah,
because your instincts are like that. Like you couldn't be with someone who didn't do that.
Yeah. but I can't, I hate flying, so I have to take Xanax to fly. And she'll sometimes bring up big issues when I'm on Xanax.
Oh, when you're nodding off on
I'm more
Xanax.
pliable. I'm very pliable on Xanax.
That's smart.
Oh, that's one of your best practices is to get him when he's had like a truth serum. Basically.
Yeah, sure.
I think I'm going to drill into the sandstone fireplace. That sounds good. I like it.
I love you so much.
I love you. I know that's one thing or the trope of comics acts where like somebody, when the comic puts down their spouse or says, but about financial stuff, like say, oh, they're always buying this shit, or just like.
I know who you're doing, by the way. No,
what? But I don't know. I want to celebrate my spouse. I'm so grateful that he'll let me talk about stuff. I hope and I want to celebrate my spouse on stage.
We have a rule in our family too, which is on stage, anything goes. We don't have any.
Okay.
There's no.
Okay.
But I could celebrate him a little more.
She does talk a lot of shit. But hey, you know what? I don't mind it because I know at the end of the day, it's fake. It's jokes.
Yeah.
She loves me, right?
Yes, of course,
All
darling.
right, good.
Wait, so I want to hear about you guys are collaborating on a project together.
We finished it.
We finished it. We made a comic book together. We wrote it together. It's the story of our love as told by our two dogs.
It's called Hogbook and Laser Eyes.
Oh, cute.
The two names we had
When we
on OkCupid.
Cupid.
Yeah.
My name was Hogbook.
And I was Laser Eyes.
And the rest, as they say, is a graphic novel.
Yes.
So is it available to purchase now?
Oh, yes. It's on my website, www.mariabamford.com.
Wait, this isn't for kids?
I mean, it could be. It's not dirty at all. It's just
There's some curse words in it.
There's some cursing.
Do you go into your UTI at all, or is that
No,
that's the next one?
UTI. A lot of clamping down. We go full vag.
Beautiful. It's called Hogbook and Laser Eyes.
Yes. Hogbook is I chose that because I was on the internet dating for so long, and I used to put funny, thoughtful, too wide a net.
Oh, yeah.
I put Hogbook, one guy.
Hello.
Well, I must say, I am glad that Hogbook found Laser Eyes. You seem well matched.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
We'll see you next time, folks.
Yay.